Morning traders. So how do we trade the Dow today? So my longs from 2 days ago have been very profitable, and I basically reached full target at the moment, and a couple of things have happened. So on the daily, we have broken through this double bottom. Okay, so that is the first thing. The concerning thing for me at the moment is this. Okay, we are heading to the 76.2, number one. And number two is, I'm just going to use the same line here, is you know that I'm always looking for the inside bar. So that's the inside bar that I'm expecting us to hit. Okay, but this here was the previous inside bar. There it is there. So that swing up there. Okay, which coincides with this tail here, which is also an inside bar. Okay, but it's kind of a low priority because this one over here has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches on it. Whereas this bottom one's only really got 1, 2 touches. Okay, but that was the zone that I was targeting, and you can see pretty much got the target. Okay, so that is the daily, and the important thing to pick up here is these inside tails on the daily, especially on the Dow, the S&P, the Nasdaq, always play out. Okay, they are always the area where people are taking profit or getting into a trade. So just keep that in mind. So the other things that happened on the daily, we've had a crossover of the moving averages, which is pretty critical. But we are stepping outside the Bollinger here, and we are also sort of starting to head into a grouping at this stage, but they're separating. So there's divergence between the two, and often when that happens, they tend to cross over and roll over. Anyway, let's look at the lower time frames. Right, so let's look at the 4-hour. If my chart will work. And that is a picture of a solid rally. Okay, now I think what we need to do is basically from here to there. This is our measured move to see where that's going to, and it's pretty much just a little bit more left in the measured move. Concerning factor here is we've got the separation of the moving averages, so there is a diversion, there's a gap brewing here. We are outside the Bollinger. We have grouped to the top. Okay, so all of these signals is also my cue to get out of this trade. So I am out of this trade completely. Okay, and with Ichimoku, I'll show you the different levels where I got out of the trade. Now, I just want to get down to a lower time frame before we get there, see if there's anything else I can see. So the trend is still up, and you can see what I mean by the stochastics can group like this for an extremely long time. So I do take it with a pinch of salt. This thing could just be consolidating here for another leg up, and it's very possible, but I suspect that will only happen this afternoon. I don't see Europe rallying at the moment. Okay, so the USA is all excited because the elections are over and nothing's really changed, in my opinion anyway, but yeah, elections are over, so uncertainty is over, and positive talk about the trade war, and there's all sorts of geopolitical tension, well, not tension, noise, that is affecting the market right now. Okay, so this is still looking pretty strong, but very tired. Okay, so for me, bank my profits, looking for a pullback. This could be the pullback here, but I'll wait for the European Open to see exactly what happens and then get a bit of a deeper pullback before I look at this. Okay, so that's kind of what's happening on the half hour. So in the half hour, you can see we've rallied. We're now consolidating. Now, what normally happens with the Dow, you can see it rallies, retraces, rallies, retraces, rallies, retraces. So if you look at yesterday, We had a pretty sharp rally at the European Open. There it goes. And then the rest of the day we just meandered down before accelerating away again. So, it was a big day yesterday, so it is potential that we have sort of a mediocre day today, or we have some continuation. But for me, I'm out the trade at the moment. So I'll show you on the ichimoku any setups that may develop that I may be looking at today. I think today the Aussie is probably looking a bit better of a setup for me. It's always a late bloomer, and the US has had its rally, so that's something that I'd like to watch. Okay, so on the half hour. So again, Williams percentage R, and bear in mind that I use a 5 on the Williams percentage R here with ichimoku. And the reason I do that is pretty clear, especially on the half hour and the hour. You can see I'm looking for buy-in points. So I know at this point here, the trend was up. Trend had changed to the upside. So logic tells me that I'm coming back to test the trend, the cloud. It comes back to test the cloud, okay? And Williams percentage R is down here. Yes, Kijinson and Dickinson are flat or not really in a position to indicate that we are trending up, but it is a worthy trade, and you can keep your stop tight. Stop would be below the price here, and entry would be a break above this price. So this bar here basically would have been your entry bar. You could have entered at the close of it, or waited to see if it have a bit of a pullback and then got in. Doesn't really matter, but that was your entry and your stop was down here. Okay, and you can see based on that entry how much traffic you had. Now, problem that we have here is we've got a flat Kijinson and we are also sort of rounding with Dickinson. Okay, so this is on the half hour. So the warning bell is here on the half hour, although the oscillator is indicating that there was potential, that for an entry down here. Looks like a lot of people got in, and now we are back in oversold territory. So this happens pretty much in the after hours trading anyway. On the on the hour, there is nothing here that says get out of a trade. Okay, so this right now is saying you should still be long. Okay, but I'm still a little bit wary, so I would expect it just to move down a bit and give us a better entry. Okay, so this is still a very strong uptrend, and if we look at the 4 hour, you can see very strong. However, we are far away from Dickinson and we're far away from Kijinson. You see over here how we were pretty close to Dickinson, the blue line. See our price stayed close to the blue line, and then we've had this acceleration away from it. So that to me is a warning bell. Okay, it's a warning bell to say I'm expecting a pullback, and that linked to the fact that we are now hovering up here. Granted, we can stay up here for a long time, but the minute this kind of thing starts happening, where Kijinson and Dickinson start separating and price separates from them, it rings a lot of warning bells in my head. Now, the daily is pretty much so. Where did I get out of this trade? So the first area I got out of this trade was pretty much where this flat Kijinson is, this previous high, and the underside of the cloud. That was where I got out of the trade with my first lot. Okay, and that was pretty early in the morning. We'll drill down to the low time frames. Why? Because price often bounces off the cloud on the daily. Okay, you can see how it bounced off there and bounced off there. Now, the next level that I'm expecting something to happen is pretty much up there. Okay, this tail here has been tagged, so these tails need to be tagged. You can see there's a swing low there as well, and it's the top of the cloud. So that's kind of what I'm expecting to happen. Now, you've had gentle, indecision, gentle, exhaustion bar. Okay, so this is all on the daily. This is why, for me, this is looking, the warning bells are ringing. So what could happen is we could just get a few days of consolidation, or we start rounding and fall all the way down, or we just start rounding with a little bit of a pullback, find some support on this level here, which is 25,900, and then bounce the upside. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, if I just come back down to the 1 hour, you'll see there was my first exit. Okay, and that was around 10 o'clock in the morning. And look what happened. We sold off. Okay, I did get back in again because we had this bar here, and then we bounced off Tekinson with a solid 1 hour, and also look at the oscillator group to the bottom. So that there was the indication to get back in, and then I still got, I captured the rest of this trade here. Okay, so in other words, bank profit there because it was a logical place to do. It started selling off. There's a lot of people that did the same thing as I did, and then suddenly we got this acceleration, get back in on the trade with the same amount of contracts that I took off the table, and rode this back up to my final take profit area, which was again on the daily, and I will use this level here, which was pretty much sitting around where price is at the moment. So I had a take profit sitting on this level here. Okay, so yeah, so at this stage we're out the trade. I would like to see a bit of a pullback and then an opportunity to get long. So the pullback, you look for it on the half hour, to be honest. No, just it'll rally a bit, fall down, rally a bit, fall down, rally a bit, fall down, build a base, and then next attempt up. Okay, so that's kind of my take on the Dow at the moment. So it's been a pretty nice ride at the moment. So I've kind of had it from here. So we've had a nice ride. We basically managed to bank around 750 points, which is half decent swing trade, and now the opportunity to trade it even further to the upside. Okay, so that's my take on it for today. I hope it helps, and I'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.